Hey everybody, it's Matt Shu from Upright Health, and today I wanted to talk about wrist pain from doing push-ups and planks. In the last week here, I actually saw a couple people who had been complaining about feeling like they had debilitating sharp pain in their wrists whenever they would go into a plank position or a push-up position. So that means going here and then coming down. They would actually get it just from going into the push-up position, and then as they started to go, they would feel like the pain got even worse. And I had one person tell me that she hadn't been able to do yoga for a very long time, or at least do a full yoga routine for a very long time, because her wrists were just not feeling so hot every time she went into a plank position. And fortunately, unfortunately and fortunately, I've also experienced that myself. And even now, from time to time, when I'm doing a bunch of push-ups, a bunch of rounds of push-ups, my wrist will suddenly say, stop, we can't do this anymore. Now, for those of you who have seen my other videos, that is not an acceptable answer for me to get from my body. If my body says, we can't do that, I would like to know why we can't do that, and then figure out how to fix that situation so that I can go back to doing planks and push-ups and what have you. So one thing that I noticed a couple of years ago that was just very strange, I still actually don't have a very good explanation for this, is that tightness here around the armpit, so around serratus anterior. You can look up that muscle, it's serratus, S-E-R-R-A-T-U-S, anterior, which I hope you can spell, is a muscle that attaches to the shoulder blade and then to the rib cage, and it helps pull the shoulder blade forward like this, and also helps keep it securely anchored to the rib cage. You also have subscapularis. That is a muscle that attaches to the front of the shoulder blade. You probably really can't tell too well from this angle, but it's on the front of the shoulder blade, and it actually goes and attaches up on the front of your humerus, and it actually pulls you into this position. It gives you internal rotation of the humerus, right? So just pulling in this direction. You have a little bit of lat sometimes that seems to get involved in this, but for the most part, it seems like serratus anterior and subscapularis, those two muscles just in front of the shoulder blade, right along your rib cage, get all cranky and knotted up from doing a bunch of push-ups. I think for the most part it's that serratus anterior, but I've noticed that little hot spots, little trigger points, whatever you want to call them, in serratus anterior and also in subscapularis can suddenly cause your wrist to feel like crap as soon as you go into plank position or go down into a push-up. So with these people I saw last week, I did what I'm about to show you. It's basically, I showed them, number one, you can dig in here with your hands. So if you just take your fingers and make them into a blade like a knife, you can just come right in here. So your shoulder blade is here. You come forward and you'll feel there's cushy stuff there. And you just push into the cushy stuff. And when you find something that's really tender, just kind of goes zing and makes you want to stop, you can hang out there and try to let that area relax. So the easiest way that I find to get there is to just get your hand out of the way so your elbow is up. We've got those muscles stretched open and ready for torture. Get your hands in there, start poking around and looking into these muscles for anything that feels not so good. On me today, there is no big issue. I seem to be able to do push-ups fine, so it's not really bugging me. But on you, if you've got the wrist pain, you might find some ugly, awful stuff in here. So you just poke around, you work up towards the armpit, you work up, 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 and just keep kind of poking around near the shoulder blade and then a little bit in front of the shoulder blade, and look for those little hot spots. The body back buddy can be useful for that too, right? You can get right up into it and just start poking around with the body back buddy. You can use the rounded knob end or even that really pokey, pointy end. Grab onto the arch there and then just start leveraging it in. Another way to do this is to just be lying on the floor. Just get your hand behind your head and then start poking around again just in front of the shoulder blades, so serratus anterior and subscapularis. I don't have a picture I can show you right here, but definitely if you hop onto Wikipedia and you look up serratus anterior, you'll be able to see where that is, and also subscapularis. That's super helpful to take a look at. So now in this position, it's pretty easy to just poke in there. I'm coming in at a diagonal, so you can see it from this direction. I'm coming in this way, not just straight into my side. That's kind of pointless, right? So I'm just coming in at a diagonal, right into serratus anterior and subscap. So that may not fix your wrist issue if you have wrist issues doing the plank and the push-ups, but it is something to try. I have found fairly consistently that somehow, for some reason, these little trigger points, knots, whatever you want to call them, seem to cause a total failure at the wrist joint when doing planks and push-ups. So if that describes you, if that sounds like you, you might want to give this a try, see how it affects you. Please remember that pain sucks. Life shouldn't.